Hello friends, if you're new, welcome to my channel. How about going down, hitting the subscribe button and ringing the bell so you don't miss any content. As for my fans and subscribers, welcome back. I really do appreciate you. Don't forget, I now have a merch store. It can be found on my website, link in the description. Today's topic, Jim Jones, back from Brazil. Let's get on with the video. Jones was concerned that only about 36 people met him at the airport to greet the family. Previously, several hundred congregants would turn out for even insignificant temple events. Enthusiasm and membership had waned, and Jones needed to do something right away. When they were in Brazil, Momin acted as Jones's mentor, but back home in Indianapolis, Jim wanted to reestablish himself as the temple's only leader. Momin soon found that associate pastors of People's Temple were relegated to the sidelines. During Jones's time in Brazil, the United States had made huge leaps in integration. Indiana had created its own Civil Rights Commission and had passed laws that forbade discrimination in education, employment, and the access to public facilities. Because this was new, the state required officials first to seek the cooperation of those who did not obey, but if that failed, the courts would intervene. At first, the state did not include housing, but in 1963, the Indianapolis City Council passed an ordinance that would not allow discrimination in housing, sales, or rentals. Even with this great progress, there was still not total equality. Indianapolis could pass ordinances giving blacks the right to live where they chose, but the city apparently did not foresee the pricing problem. Even though all stores and restaurants now had to serve people of all races, non-whites had little disposable income, and the new equal opportunity employment laws would take years, if not generations, to have any noticeable effects on disposable income. Blacks may have been content to wait in Indianapolis, but civil rights marches continued in other parts of the country, which regularly erupted into race riots. If Indianapolis had suffered these tensions, Jim Jones may have reemerged as the foremost civil rights leader. However, the fact that these marches and riots never happened because Indianapolis blacks were essentially non-confrontational, Jones could not immediately regain his sphere of influence. Due to a large number of liberal politicians that had been elected into office, the city and state were ahead of other large American cities when it came to civil rights. However, the 1962-1963 advances would be largely voided a few years later when the conservative white voting bloc would reassert itself. At the moment, though, progress denied Jones the opportunity to resume his influence and leadership. Part of the appeal of People's Temple to blacks had been that Jones could help them get something in life, not just after they died. He actually stood up for them. Now that the Human Rights Commission had the legal muscle to help blacks and other minorities, Jim Jones was no longer the only viable option when it came to getting things done. Another blow to his ego came when the temple had to move to a smaller building. At times, less than 100 people attended Sunday service. This, of course, infuriated Jones because this poor attendance reflected badly on him. Yes, people, he's a narcissist. Did I really have to tell you? One way in which this manifested was on the 15-minute radio slot. Archie I. James had taken over when Jim left, but now that he was back, Jones resumed control over the slot. However, instead of quoting scripture and urging all to unite in brotherhood, Jones now indulged in rants. These included painting the Bible as propaganda. Although the station warned Jones to change his tone, he did not, big surprise, and eventually WIBC removed him from the lineup. Jones returned to the revival circuit, but his message had changed there as well. Enabled by Patty Cartmel, he pretended to read minds and give prophecies, but he rarely mentioned the Bible anymore. He now preached socialism, though he was careful not to label it as such, because remember the times in which he lived. In Sunday services and meetings with his inner circle, he went much farther. The more he felt pushed aside by the outside world, the louder he proclaimed his specialness to his loyal followers. Yet even among the loyal followers, his denigration of the Bible unnerved a few. He blamed the book for all modern problems, declaring that racism and oppression are taught in it. I have to admit, I kind of agree with him on this one. Previously, he had disclosed his belief in reincarnation only to a trusted few, but now he proclaimed from the pulpit that the real God existed as a spirit, who could choose a host body to give immediate blessings. Although he never explicitly stated that he was God, he led his people to come to that conclusion through clever manipulation. After Jones concluded that he was God incarnate, he would no longer learn from his mistakes because he didn't think he could make any. From this time forward, he would blame either his flawed followers or his enemies if his plans failed. He expected his closest followers to accept that he was godlike, which disturbed a few, including I. James and Case. I. James eventually came to accept this, but Case never did. His other followers either immediately believed it or didn't care that Jones was claiming to be a god because they liked his socialist message. Even though in later years, many associates who had survived wondered if he had ever told the truth about anything, it seems that, at least in one instance, he did. It is quite obvious, due to his choice of relocation, that he believed nuclear holocaust was imminent. If his sole concerns were fame and power, he had much more obvious choices, such as Los Angeles. He returned to the list of safe places in Esquire magazine, where there was only one place in the United States, and that was Eureka, California. Jones sent scouts ahead to find out where the best place to settle in California would be. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, PayPal, and website addresses are in the description, along with the source that I used for this video. Best way to contact me is Twitter. Next best is email. Also, if you would, please leave comments in the comment section. Not only do I love hearing from you, but it also triggers the YouTube algorithm. Also, please remember that I choose my comment of the week from the edited videos. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Until next time, friends, stay safe and goodbye.